So the problem is caused by the deformation in this circled area. You can see where it creates a gap when the air filter is just lied flat right on top of it. This is the product I decided to try to close that gap with.
All right, so to just give you the general rundown of what's happening here, this is a Corvette LT1 engine air intake. So the air filter sits here, filter cover goes on top of it. It's secured by one nut in the middle and then two on each side and then captured along the bottom here. Problem is that's common is you get this little dip here. And the filter doesn't really flex enough to soak that up. So you need to resolve that somehow. And a lot of people use foam, tape backed foam, which I've seen like this had taped back foam on it and it was all falling apart. To me, it felt dangerous that that foam would get sucked into the engine. So I am going to use this black gasket maker. It sits up fast. And I'm gonna put a nice, neat bead right in the areas where it's necessary to prevent any unfiltered air from reaching my beloved engine. All right, you can see here where the air filter seal just sits beautifully flush against the housing. Here's where the gap existed, and we just laid down a nice bead right at it. So absolutely impossible for air to get under that space. And I just ran the bead all the way across and similarly down this side. So zero chance of any unfiltered air reaching this amazing thing.
It was dark when I finished up last night, but here's a quick look of what it's like on the car. And just as a bit of an aside, this is what the air cover looked like before. It was a pretty unique design, but I went with the traditional, fully cut out front, and this is the most common way that this air filter lid is modified. And after it was sanded and spray painted, it looked great.
Just a quick look of the finished filter. Just came out super clean, and it's perfect. It'll be good for another year or two.